Oh, it's 5 p.m. there. You are 3 hour away before. Okay, and it's 8 p.m. in India. In the office, good is you are allowed to speak. Good. Okay, okay. And how to set up the camera? Okay. So, anybody have any question from last class? Yeah, yeah, go ahead. No, no, I have already shared the drive link. Na, you can download it in your system. I already asked you. You had choose two choice yesterday in yesterday class. Either you can get access on my portal. Oh, that means I have to upload it at two place. Okay. Anything else? Good evening. Is it your first class? Have you watched the recording? Okay, okay, okay. So you have the basic idea of IPv4 addressing, right? Great. So today in first half hour we are going to cover the subnetting. Okay, so let's begin then. Anyone have any question from the last class? Then please ask if anyone have any question from the last class. Mm-hmm. You need to add router there. Actually, by mistaken, I had sent that link in the group, right? Like I was sending the study materials, like link to access the study material. Okay, for the GNS, even G and packet tracer. See, for now you need packet tracer and GNS3. Later you need even G also. Packet tracer is very simple. You can directly download from the Google, right? And all devices are already integrated there. In GNS3, you see we are going to use GNS3 for routing. Means we'll use router there, only router, nothing else. For the switching, we are going to use EVNG, advanced switching, advanced routing. For advanced routing, GNS3 or EVNG. For switching, EVNG only. And for the basic module, and whenever we need to check some application layer data, like telnet data, sometime at that time we can use the packet tracer as well, right? Like I will be using packet tracer for first 10 classes only. After that I will be not using. Okay, so for now just set up the packet tracer and GNS3. You can find the software on Google as well, and you can request to me as well, right? I will share the drive link. From there you can download both packet tracer like GNS3 file as well as image of router. Yeah, video is, yes, you can search like GNS3 PM networking or GNS3 setup PM networking. Yeah. For MacBook, I don't have idea, but definitely you can install the packet tracer there as well, because packet tracer is very popular software. Definitely will have. GNS3, I don't have idea about it, but I think you can, because some people are teaching, like in the teaching I saw somewhere on YouTube, they were doing lab in GNS3 in MacBook only. Yeah, it's available. So you need then different iOS. You can check it on Google, right? Definitely you will find it, or you can check it on Telegram. If you are not able to find it, then you can let me know. I will also try by myself. Yes, 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 yes. Both in core and in RC. Everything, each and every topic. We'll cover each and every topic from in core plus NRC, right? So you can go for job as like exam, certification exam. NRC is going to mainly focus on, sorry, has the CCNP started means? Yesterday was the first class. This is the second class. So see for you guys, I already told you yesterday as well that whatever a student belongs to September batch, there we have covered the routing module, right? For you guys, this is the basic module right now. So here you are going to cover the basic module, and your routing module is already covered. So we'll shift you in the another batch just after finishing the switching like basic module here. Just you are covering your basic module here. This is not first class for you guys. Uh, like remember I said in your class that will cover the application layer protocols, DNS, DSCP, those things, right, later. So here we are going to cover those application layer protocols. Anything else? No, I have the lab, but I will not provide you lab, my lab access. You have to set up lab in your system only. Otherwise you have to pay extra amount for the lab access, right? And after that also you will get access for the limited time, right? Like maybe 2 hours per day, and before that you have to inform us that you are going to access the server. It is going to be complicated, and you will face the issue as well, latency issue, right? So generally the people who are enrolling for the SD-WAN, those guys are accessing my lab, right? In CCNA and CCNP you can set up your own lab. See, first is packet tracer, then GNS3, then EVNG. EVNG or Peanut Lab, both are good, right? So GNS3 is for the particular routing only, right? When we'll talk about the entire network from the layer one, means access their devices and devices to ISPs. When we need to cover everything, routing protocol also, switching protocol also, and the basic things also like DNS, DHCP. At that moment of time, we need EVNG, because in EVNG we can implement everything. Okay, so like when we will be talking about the routing module, that time you will be using GNS3. When we will talking about the basic module, right, like for next 10 days, 10 to 15 days, packet tracer is enough, and then EVNG. Yes, Rakesh. Where we have mentioned that? Lab support or lab access? I think both are different. What do you think? No, no. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. In GNS3 and even G, in both in GNS3 and even G, you will be able to capture the traffic through Wireshark. So these are the tools. See, packet tracer, GNS3, even G, and Wireshark. Yeah, these four things you need, right? These four software plus one laptop hardware and good internet connectivity. That's it. And after that, your time. Yeah, if you have these all things, 2 hours plus hardware, software, internet, leave everything on me. Just join the class and see the magic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. After this course, you can go for the CCI lab training. Right? That will be for 6 to 7 months. Okay, and the training is definitely going to be costly as well. Okay, but I see, just focus on the CCN and CCNP first, I think, right? And leave everything apart, right? After that, we can talk on those things, right? We have the training, and I am the trainer. I am CCI certified as well. I have number. I can train you, right? And I can promise you that 100% you can pass the exam, right? Regarding the training, regarding the fee, we can talk after the this batch, CCN and CCNP. Okay, it will be easier for me as well to make you understand about the training, right? Like explain the training of CCI enterprise lab exam. Now it's bit complicated. Great. Yeah, you can go for data center also. We have data center batch as well. We have data center, service provider, automation, SD-WAN, SDXS, DNAC, CCNA, CCNP. All the courses are available on pmnetworking.in. If your friends or anyone need these courses, you can just refer them to PM Networking, right? And you guys should only focus on CCN and CCNP for next 2 to 3 months. Because for any other certification like advanced certification, these are the mandatory CCNA plus CCNP, mandatory for every network engineering. You should like master it. Yeah, yeah, you can go for it and definitely see for the data center, for the automation, for any other technology. CCNA is mandatory because in CCNA you are going to learn the basic networking. Right? Every technology is going to work on network only. CCNP, na? So just complete the CCNP and after that go for either you can go for data center first or you can go for automation first. Yes, Gauri Shankar. Yeah, please speak, Gauri Shankar. You have raised the hand. Do you have anything to speak? Okay, okay, guys, then let's begin. What I told you yesterday, what is subnetting? Very good. It is a process to divide large network into a smaller network. Great. Subnetting is used to reduce the wastage of IPv4 address. Like I have a company, right, and in the company I need only 100 number of IP address. So there is no any class available who provide 100 IP addresses. Minimum to minimum IP I will get 256 from the class C, right? So if I will use any IP, any subnet network from class C, then I will get 254 IP address. And I need only 100, that means 156 IP address is going to be west here that I cannot use in any other department or any remote site anywhere in my company. So that's why we come up with subnetting. Before talking about the subnetting, you know, first we divide IPv4 address into classes to reduce the shortage, and after that we divide all the classes into two part. Again, reason is shortage. Still we have shortage. So what we did, we divide the all classes into two part. First part is private IP, second part is public IP. Oh, 30. Private IP and public IP. See how we can reduce the shortage by dividing IP into private and public. What we said, that do one thing, just divide IPv4 address into private and public, and private IP address, like, you know, they were looking for something so that IP address can become reusable. Reusable means multiple people can use same IP address, like your name. Like my name is Praful and there are many people in the world who have the same name, right? But how I am unique? By combining my both address, my name, logical address, and my physical address. My physical address is globally unique. This is the only one place on the entire planet, right? So when I will use my name plus my physical address, right, that will be globally unique. So we want same thing for the IPv4 addressing, because we have shortage, right? We need to reduce the shortage. So this is a technique to reuse the private IP address, right? If we are going to reuse the private IP address, means if two organizations are going to use same IP address, then how how will identify them on internet, right? For an example, two company XYZ and company ABC, both companies are connected through internet, fine, and both are using the private network here, private network, which is, let's say, 192.168.1.0/24. This company ABC is also using same subnet, right? So on the internet, how we can identify the traffic between XYZ and ABC? Is it possible, guys? Not possible. XYZ and ABC, we cannot identify the traffic belongs to which company? ABC. Let's say if ISP router is receiving a traffic where destination IP address is 192.168.1.1, right? So ISP will get confused where I should forward it, in XYZ company or ABC company. In both company we have same private IP address. So what we did, we identify the organization with the help of public IP address. Their public IP address is going to be unique, right? And that is not free, so anyone cannot use without the database. Whenever anyone want to use the public IP address, they have to purchase. If you are going to purchase from someone, that means we can maintain the database that which public IP address are sold, which public IP address are available. So let's say this company have purchased one IP address, public IP, which is 1.1.1, and this company IP address is 2.2.2.1. So ISP is going to know their company's network, private network, with the help of public IP address. With the help of public IP address, right? Means this IP address 1.1.1 is representing which network? 192.168.1.0. And 2.2.1 is representing what? Same network. 2.2.2.1 is also representing same network, 192.168.1.0. And ISP will never receive traffic for the private IP address, right? It will be receiving traffic for public IP address. You will learn it, everything, how, right? We are going to configure the translation and these all things you will learn it later, like how it is possible to forward traffic from private network to public network, right? That is the advanced topic, WAN technology. We'll see that. But if anyone need to forward traffic to XYZ company, they will forward traffic to 1.1.1, right? If anyone want to forward traffic to ABC company, they will forward traffic to their public IP address, which is 2.2.2.1. Means ISP knows these company with the help of public IP address, right? So private IP address is, first thing is free of cost, means anyone can use it and anyone can use any IP address. It is completely free, but not routable, not routable on internet, not routable on internet. On internet you cannot reach to internet with the help of private IP address, right? Private IP address are not allowed on the internet. There is filtering, right? Filtering is configured on ISP interface, that will be blocking public IP address, right? Routable IPs on internet is public IP address, right? And it is payable and routable, right? So public IP address cannot be reusable, right? Cannot be reused, but private IP address can be reused. Now just think if multiple companies can use same private IP address, then we don't have shortage then, right? Because same, let's say in the entire world there are 1 lakh organizations, companies, right? They need lots of IP addresses. They all can use same private IP address, right? And they all will have few public IP address, few public IP address. Why few? You will learn it, like for the load balancing, for the redundancy. Like if you have only one public IP address, that means you have only one WAN connection. If this link will goes down, or if ISP will goes down, or if your router will goes down, the entire connectivity will goes down. So you need multiple connection, WAN connection, from the multiple ISP as well, from the internet, from the service provider, from the like MPLS or LTE, 4G, 5G, multiple transportation are there, and you will have connectivity from multiple transportation for the redundancy. We'll show those all things later. For now, just I want to make you understand that private and public IP. What I am saying, first, to reduce the shortage of IPv4 address, we divide it into classes. Still we have shortage, so we divide each class into private and public, right? And we have range of private IP address from each class. If you want to see the range, simply in Google you can say private and public IP range. Here is the range, this is the range, these are the range. Let me copy anyone. It is not visible. Yeah, this one looks fine. See, right? So from class A, range of private IP addresses, and this is not the range of private and public. Here it is. Yeah, this one is good. Range of private IP address from class A is 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. This is the range of private IP address, right? So guys, if I am writing one IP, let's say 10.1.1.1, is it a private IP address or public IP address? Private, right? But 9.1.1.1 is public IP address. 9.1.1.1 is public IP address. 100.1.1.1 is public IP address, right? So this range from class A, this range is not routable on internet, right? You cannot reach to internet with the help of IP from this range. From class B, this is the range of private IP address 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. And from class C, this is the range. Rest all IP addresses are public IP address. These are the only private IP addresses, and it is reusable. Anyone can use the duplicate address, right? But can I reuse the IP within the organization? No, I cannot reuse the IP within the organization. Why, guys? Let's say this is a company, and in this company there are multiple departments, right? Multiple departments. So private IP address is used for internal communication, right? Like how these three departments are going to communicate, right? So here definitely we need unique IP addresses in each department. In each department we need unique IP address 192.168.1.0. Here we can have 192.168.2.0, and here we can have 192.168.3.0. You can assume that these are three branches as well, right, at different location, or three department or three building, right, where we need 200, around 200 IP addresses in each department, in each building, at each site. So within the organization you cannot reuse the IP address, private IP address, but between the organization we can reuse it. Like Dell can use same subnet, and HP can also use that subnet. Dell and HP both can use same subnet, right? And they are connected together through internet. So how internet is going to forward traffic between Dell and HP? With the help of public IP address, right? So by default communication between private and public is not possible. By default, private network cannot communicate with public, right? So the technology which we are using to make it possible is NAT, network address translation. We'll see that later. Okay, so always keep in mind these two things. First, we divide IPv4 address into classes, then we divide IPv4 which classes into two part, private and public. Private IP address are free, reusable and not routable on the internet, and public IP address are payable, not reusable and routable on internet. Done. Now let's say I have one company and the main subnet is this one, 192.168.0.0/16. This IP address belongs to class C, and by default subnet mask for class C is 24, means subnet mask 255.255.255.0. This is by default, correct? Okay, tell me, this IP address is private IP address or public IP address? Pri private, very good, correct. So how many IP addresses are there in this class, in this network? 256, right? If I need only 100 IP address, then I have to use IP from class C, and I have to avoid the wastage of 156 IP address that cannot be used in second department, other building, or other remote sites. Now it might be possible that you guys can think that Praful, tell me one thing, that why I should not use subnet from class A if I need lots of IP address or if I have lots of departments, right? Like why I should not use this subnet 10.0.0.0/8, like subnet mask 255.0.0.0, and will configure IP from this network to all the department, all the building, all the sites, all the branches. What is the issue? Anyone have idea? Management issue. See, how many IP addresses are there? Too many, right? Means too many users are going to be there in one subnet, right? So management is going to be very complicated, right? If the network size is small, right, it will be easier to troubleshoot, manage it, right? If let's suppose in a company there are 5,000 users, 5,000 users are there, right? And they all belongs to same subnet, they all are connected through multiple networking devices and they all are able to communicate. The second, same companies have 5,000 user, but they have divided the network into multiple part, right? Like in each network there are 100 number of users, right? All the departments are separated, right? And all have their own network ID, right? In each department we have a specific number of IP address, maybe 200 and 100. So you tell me, whenever problem will occur, which will be easier for you to troubleshoot, this one or this one, right? Second one. So this is the reason, you know, in network the most important part or the thing where you should focus is segmentation. Segmentation means dividing large network into a smaller network, right? Like in last class also I told you, dividing anything to make it easy. The reason why we are dividing anything is to make it easy. In the same way, if we'll divide the large network into a smaller part, then it will be easier to manage, configure, troubleshoot. right? So yeah, broadcast domain, yes, very good. If you have knowledge about the broadcast domain, you can assume that if 5000 users are there in one broadcast domain, and if anyone will generate broadcast, there will be flooding in the network, right? The traffic congestion, CPU utilization, performance will automatically reduce, right? So instead of using 255.10.1.10.0.0.0 directly, what we can do, we can divide it into multiple part, and dividing large network into a smaller network is nothing but subnetting, right? The benefit of subnetting is segmentation. Segmentation is the main benefit, and with the help of subnetting we are dividing network at layer 3. Guys, IP address is a part of layer 3. In OSI model we have 7 layer, we'll see that, right? And this is a part of layer 3. That means we are going to divide network at layer 3. We are dividing network at layer 3. Why dividing? For the better management. I'm going to give you one another example. If it is not clear to anybody, just tell me. Is it clear why subnetting is needed, right? Any more example required? Okay, one more example. Let's suppose for an example, in my company, there are multiple departments. The HR departments are there, sales departments are there, admin departments are there, and networking departments are there, right? Finance departments are there, multiple departments are there. Let's suppose for an example all these departments are using IP address from the same subnet 10.0.0.0, right? And you know the networking department is most important, most critical traffic, right? Like, on the road there are many vehicle, but whenever ambulance is crossing they have signal that, bro, I am the important one, please give me the space, yes or no? In the same way, if you want to prioritize this department, can you? No, you cannot. You cannot, because this is not separated. All belongs to same network, belongs to same subnet. We cannot configure any priority, any quality of service for a specific department, right? If I want to block the communication between HR and sale, I cannot do it. The reason, both belongs to same network, right? But at the second hand, if we have separate department, separate subnet for each department, then if you want to configure quality of service, let's say for networking department, and for networking department your subnet is different. Here subnet is 10.1.0.0, here subnet is 10.2.0.0, here subnet is 10.3.0.0, here subnet is 10.4.0.0. So now I can configure security for this particular network. I can configure quality of service, I can configure priority, I can prioritize the traffic for this subnet. So what I am trying to explain you is, if we have separated each type of traffic, then we have control. Then we have control on each department. We can configure the security, we can implement the quality of service for a particular department, for a particular types of traffic. For an example, in the network we have two types of traffic: data traffic, data traffic and voice traffic, voice is a delay sensitive traffic, right? Means whenever any machine is going to send voice traffic, it will wait for few time for the reply, right? But data is key sensitive traffic, right? It no problem if you are downloading any movie from the Google and it is taking some time. If it will take 5 seconds more, then no problem. But if we are on call with someone and if there is delay of 5 seconds, it is going to be very irritating, right? So in the network, every time you have to configure priority for voice traffic over data traffic. You have to configure a specific path for the voice, right? So how it is possible? It is possible if you have divided both at layer 3. If you are using different subnet for data traffic and different subnet for voice traffic, then only it is possible. If both belongs to same network, both are using IP address from the same network, then it is not possible, right? What I am trying to say, let's say this is one source, right? And between source and destination there are two paths. Here the destination, source and destination. Between source and destination we have two path. Here we have good bandwidth, good bandwidth, but here we have low bandwidth. Low bandwidth, right? And user, there are two types of user who is using sending data traffic and some user are sending voice traffic, right? So guys, here we can configure lower path for the data traffic, like whenever user is sending data traffic they will use lower path, and whenever user is forwarding voice traffic they will use upper path. So we can configure it, but first we have to separate both at layer 3. Both should have different network ID. If both are belongs to same network ID, then either we can configure lower path for both or I can configure upper path for both. It is not possible to configure upper path for this data traffic and lower path for voice traffic. Getting my point? If more examples are required, no worry, tell me. If it is still not clear to anyone, by like what is the topic? Topic is very simple. Voice segmentation. Why we should divide per full, right? And if it is clear, then tell me other. Then I will start the subnetting now. Subnetting is going to tell you how we can do it.
Can you give us another example?
What happened with this example?
No, I didn't get.
What you didn't get?
Means how traffic will flow with the lower
No, I am not teaching that how traffic will go via lower path. I am saying if there are two types of traffic, then we have to separate both at layer 3. Then we can configure one path for one type of traffic and another path for another type of traffic. But if both types of traffic belongs to same subnet, same network, then we cannot configure a specific path. We have to configure one path for all, both. Okay, guys, many more examples are there, right? But try to understand, we need to cover the topics as well, right? So hope it is clear. Like why segmentation is important. This is just why segmentation. Why segmentation means why we should divide large network into a smaller network. That's it. So we should divide large network into a smaller network so that we can implement security for a specific types of traffic. We can configure quality of service. We can easily manage the network. We can easily troubleshoot the network if there is any issue. If the network is large, very large, then it will be complicated. Got it? Yes, you all got it. Now see subnetting. To divide large IPv4 network into multiple smaller networks. Multiple smaller networks. Okay. Before talking about how, understand CIDR. CIDR. CIDR stands for classless inter domain routing, right? Classless means whatever things we have discussed till now in IPv4 are classful. Those are classful, have the default subnet mask, right? And now I am talking about the classless where we don't have any class. Okay, so CIDR value is nothing but the slash notation. It is an slash notation of network bits. So you tell me in class A, how many network bits are there?
slash 8, 8,
Tw
8, 8,
8 network bits are there, right? So we are going to represent slash 8, right? What I told you, it is slash notation of network bits. Got it? For class B, how many network bits are there?
16,
16. So for class B, CIDR value is going to be slash 16, right? For class C, how many network bits?
slash, slash
24, right? So if someone is saying slash 24, that means it is talking about the network bits, right? That means how many network bits are there? 24. So can you calculate host bit? How many host bits are there?
8, 8,
Yes. Total length of IPv4 address is 32. Out of 32 bits IP address, 24 bits are network bits. That means definitely 8 bits are host bit, right? And you know how to find the IP address: 2 to the power h minus 2, 2 power 8 minus, sorry, 2 to the power h, not minus 2. That is valid host. Total number of IP address here is 2 power 8, 256, right? 2 power 8, that is 256 IPs. 256. Now I need 100 IP address. I need 100, need 100 IP address. 100 IPs. What slash value I should use? See, this is CIDR, classless. According to our requirement, you can use any slash value. What should be the slash value? Slash 24 is going to give me 256 IP address. I can use the formula. See, IP address formula to calculate IP address is 2 power h. So 2 power h should be greater than and equal to 100. What should be the value of h? If h is 1, then you will get what value? 2. If H is 2 to the power 2, you will get 4 IP addresses. If H is 3, how many IP you will get? 8. If H is 4, then you will get how many IP? 16. If H is 5, how many IP? If H is 6, how many IP? If H is 7, how many IP? 128. Okay, I need how many IPs? 100 IPs, right? So this can be one option. Here still I am wasting 28 IP address, but if I will use IP from class C, then I will waste 156 IP address. And here if I am using /25, then I am wasting only 28 IP addresses. That can be used in future. So this is what subnetting. This way we can use the slash value. And if slash value is 25, then what will be subnet mask? 128, because in fourth octet first bit is on and rest all bits are 0, right? So it will be 128. Got it? Now for an example, here my subnet is 192.168.1.0/24. This is the default one, right? And the manager told you to divide this network into two parts. Divide it into two parts, right? So how you will divide? You know the formula to find number of network? Number of network. What is the formula? 2 power n. 2 power n is the formula, where n is what? Network bits. And here we can say number of borrowed bit, right? Like by default, if I will talk about the subnet mask of class C 255.255.255.0, right? Means first octet all the values are 1. In first octet all values are 1. In second octet all values are 1. In third octet all values are 1. In fourth octet all values are zeros, right? So this n is nothing but the borrowed bit. Here if I will borrow this bit, if I will convert this first 0 into 1, then what will happen? How many network bits are there now? 25. Then my subnet mask is going to be what? 255.255.255.128, right? And 2 to the power n, 2 means how many network I will get? 2, right? So here we can say this n is n is the bit which or we can say n is the network bit which moved to host bit or host portion, right? So if I need two network, then 2 to the power n is greater than equal to 2, means n value should be what? 1. Means I need to borrow one bit, I need to turn on one bit. If I need four network, then 2 to the power n should be greater than or equal to 4, so n should be what? 2. So I have to borrow 2 bit here, correct? If I need 8 network, yes, n should be 3. And as number of network will be increasing, IP address will be decreasing, right? Because let's say you have borrowed 1 bit, n equals 1. The number of network is 2, and number of host means IP addresses are, how many host bits are there then? 7 only. 2 to the power 7, that means 128 IP addresses are there, right? If n equals 2, that means I have 4 network, and how many host bits are there? 6.
64.
That means 64 IP addresses are there. If n equals 3, then I will get 8 network and
32.
32 IP addresses. If n equals 4, then I will get 16 network and 16 IP addresses. If n equals 5, then I will get how many network? 32. And how many IP? 8. If n equals 6, then how many IPs are there? Or sorry, how many networks are there first? 64. And how many IPs? 4 IPs. If n equals 7, then how many networks are there? 128. And how many IPs are there? 2. Yes or no? So if I have two daughter R1 and R2, between R1 and R2 on this link, how many IP addresses are required? 2.
2.
So I will always use slash 30. I will always use slash 30. Now you can say, Praful, why not 31? Because here I have two IP address. So soon you are going to learn two IP address from each subnet are reserved. One for network ID, one for broadcast ID.
Broadcast.
Right, guys? Two IP address from all the networks are reserved, which we cannot configure on the device. First one is network ID, which specify from where your network is starting, and one is broadcast ID, which specify where your network is ending, where no network is ending, right? Like, or you can say from where your next network is starting. Now same IP 192.168.1.0/24, and I need to divide it into two part. Now few questions are coming in mind. Praful, two networks are required. Okay, most important question is how you will find two network ID. How you will find network ID? Network ID. First network ID is this one, right? What will be the second network ID? So guys, to find the network ID, we have something called block size. We have something called block size. Formula of block size is 256 minus subnet mask of last octet. Subnet mask of last octet. Right? So as you know, if I need to divide this network into two parts, that means I need to borrow 1 bit, right? I have to turn on 1 bit in 4th octet, right? And if I will turn on 1 bit, then my slash value is going to be 25, and subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.128, right? Subnet mask of last octet is 128, right? So block size is going to be what? 256 minus 128, which will be 128. Means my first network is 192.168.1.0 and second network is 192.168.1.128, right? What is the first IP address of first network? What is the last IP address of this network? 127, right? What is the first IP address of second network? And what will be the last IP address? 255, right? Even you can find the second network, like here you can add the block size where last subnet mask is present, last subnet mask here, this in this octet you can add the block size, right? So again, if I will add the block size here, what value I will get? 192.160 or 1.256, yes or no? 128 plus 128, is it valid? No. But with the help of second network, we can identify this network is ending on which IP address. If next network is starting from here, that means this network is ending on 255. Just one before IP address of this one, this IP, this network ID, right? So guys, this is what network ID, this is what broadcast ID, this is broadcast ID, this is network ID, right? We cannot configure these four IP address. First IP address from the first subnet is this one, and last usable IP address from this subnet is 192.168.1.126, and last usable IP address from second subnet is 192.168.1.254. These are usable IP address, right? So you can see total number of IP address in one subnet is 128, but total number of usable IP address is 126 in each subnet, right? Here also you can see, or you can use formula also, like valid host formula is 2 power h, and h is, yeah, because network bits are 25, total length of IP is 32, that means h is going to be 7. So 2 power 7 will be 128 is the total IP, right? And minus 2, one for network ID, one for broadcast ID. So 126 IP addresses are there, right? You can find the number of network, or you can say subnet here. Subnet means subnetwork. Subnetwork means network after subnetting. The subnetted divided network, like a small part of big network, is called subnet, right? So how many subnets are there? 2 power n. N is how many bits I have borrowed? 1 bit, means 2 subnets are there, right? Now the second thing is, if I have same subnet, but this time if slash value is 26, 192.168.1.0, not slash 25, slash 26, how many networks are there? Subnets. How many subnets? 4. 2 power 2, because you can see here I have, how you will find how many bits I have borrowed? You can check first octet value, and with the help of first octet value you can identify the class, and for all class you already know the predefined CIDR value, predefined network bits, right? So here subnet is going to be 4. 4 subnets are there. Valid host, how many valid host per subnet? 62. 62. Now tell me the first network ID. Okay, block size, what will be the block size? Subnet mask will be 255.255 192, right? So block size is going to be 256 minus 192. What value you will get here? 64, right? Means your first network is going to be what, guys? 192.168.1.0. Second network 64. Third network, fourth network, fourth network. Enough means, see here you need to add block size here to find the next network. 192 plus 64, 224, right? What will be the last IP address of first subnet? Last IP address of first subnet? 63. Very good. Last IP address of second subnet. 192.168.1.127. Last IP address of third subnet. 191. Right. Fourth subnet, third subnet. Yeah, fourth. How you get? Hey, see, there is some error.
This is not required, sir. Actually, 192 is enough for our network. Four subnet are
192 plus 64, 256, which is invalid IP address, right?
yeah, actually only four subnet are there. Required.
Yeah, 255 will be the last IP address of fourth subnet,
Yeah, right, sir.
right? 256 is invalid IP address. See, yes, I am also using the logic only, right? Okay,
Only subnet is four is there.
correct. Now, these are network ID, these are network ID, and these are
Broadcast ID.
broadcast ID, right? Which is not usable, means we can not configure on devices. Now, first IP address from the first subnet, 1. First IP address from second subnet, 129 here. Last IP 62. Good. Here 190, 254. You know how Cisco is going to ask you question. They can ask you, this is the subnet 192.168.1.1.0/26. They can ask you third valid IP address of second subnet. Tell me the answer. 192 dot
168.1.66, I think.
third valid IP address. First valid IP is 65, second valid IP is 66, 67, 67. If they are asking third IP address, if I will remove the valid word from here, then it is going to be 66. If I am saying valid, that means 67. Right. Now in the same way they can ask you like the first valid IP address or network ID of second subnet, network ID of third subnet, right? Broadcast ID of fourth subnet, like that. Any question, right? And you should have answer. Done. For 192.168.1.0/27. Now guys, you guys tell me how many networks are there? 8. Tell me the network ID of first subnet, second subnet, or I am writing here. Second subnet 32, block size is 32. Then then
36.
then
128.
then Then,
1.6,
hmm,
192,
then, then,
is enough.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Good. Okay. Now you can find the broadcast ID, you can find the valid IP addresses, those things. Right. For class B now, I am on IP 172.16.10.0.0/16. This is the default. This is a default CIDR value for class B, and this IP address belongs to class B only. Right. So if I am using 172.16.0.0/17, right? Then tell me how many networks are there?
Around 15 networks.
Again, two network. Now you have borrowed one bit. So two networks, subnet. Two subnets are there. Subnet is equal to, right? And block size is going to be what? Again 128. Yes or no? Because subnet mask over here is 255.255.0.0. Subnet mask over here is 255.255.128.0. Correct? So this will be a block size. First network 172.16.0.0. Second subnet. Second subnet. Where will add the block size? We'll add the block size in that octet where last one is present, where last network bit is present. Last one is present in third octet, right? So here we are going to say 128.0. So tell me what will be the broadcast ID of first subnet?
127.
Dot 255, right? And 172.16.120 255.255. Clear, guys? First valid IP address 0.1, right? Last IP address 16 dot. See, in between you will have this IP also 1.255. 255, like this way also we will have IP address between, right? These all are valid IP address. So this is also one question of exam. 127.254 is the last IP address, right? The question is this one 172.16.2.0/17. Is it a network ID or valid IP address? They can ask you, is it a valid IP? And most of the people are saying it is not a valid IP address. Most of people are saying it is an network ID. So no, guys, this is an valid IP address. Yes or no?
Yes.
We can configure this IP address on router interface or to a host, right? So in the same way you can do subnetting for other CIDR value as well. 172.16.0.0/18, right? Subnet mask 255.255.192.0. block size is going to be 64, right? So we can say first subnet is 172.16.0.0. second subnet, yes, very good. Third subnet,
That's 128.
yes, 128.0, and so on. So this way we can perform the subnetting. For class A also we are going to use same formula. 10.0.0.0/8 is the default, and 10.0.0.0/9, right? That means I have borrowed one bit. Again here we will have two network, right? So first network is going to be 10.0.0/8. 0.0.0. Second network is going to be 10.128.0.0. Last IP address of first subnet is going to be 10.0.0. Last IP address 10.7.255.255. Okay, and last IP address of second subnet is 10.255.255.255. Is it clear to everyone? Subnetting, is it clear? Subnetting is clear, guys, to all or not? Anyone is not clear with subnetting? Hello? Yeah, definitely you need practice. Lots of practice are required, right? But see, guys, one issue is there. The network length is fixed. Length of each network is fixed, means same, right? In each network we have same number of IP address, right? Like 172.16.0.0 slash 17, right? So we have two subnet, 0.0 and 172.16.128.0, and in both subnet how many IP addresses are there? In both subnet 2 to the power 15 IP addresses are there, right? Means number of IP addresses are equal, right? So this is FLSM. What we called it, FLSM. There are two types of subnetting. Subnetting, there are two types. One is FLSM and another one is VLSM. FLSM and VLSM. FLSM stands for fixed length subnet masking, and VLSM stands for variable length subnet masking, right? Like for an example, I have 3 department or 4 department, 1, 2, 3 and 4. In department 1, see, in each department if I need 100 number of IP address, then definitely I can do FLSM, right? But in department 1, let's say I need 200 IP or 100 IP. In department 2 I need 50 IP. In department 3 I need let's say 30 IP, and in department 4 I need 10 IPs, right? So in this scenario the length of my network is variable, right? Here we cannot use FLSM. Again, if I will use FLSM, so you can see in 4th department we will be wasting lots of IP addresses, right? So we can divide network by using both tool, FLSM also and VLSM also. With the help of FLSM, we can divide network uniformly, means the length of each network is going to be same. And with the help of VLSM, we can divide network variably, right? Like length can be variable. Now 4 department or 3 department, department 1, department 1 I need 100 IPs. In department 2 I need 50 IPs. In department 3 I need 30 IPs, and in department 4 I need 10 IPs, right? And let's say your main subnet is, can I use subnet from class C? See, the total number of IP is around how much? 200. So yes, we can use from class C, we can use. So 192.1.0/24 is your main subnet, right? So how you are going to now divide it into 4 part? This time we cannot perform FLSM here. 1 minute. This time I cannot use FLSM. So anyone have idea about it? Anybody?
So one more time.
How
What is the question?
how we can divide it? Question is,
By using VLSI.
yes, by using VLSM, how we can divide it?
Uh, First, convert the decimal numbers into binary and
Okay, any other suggestion? Great, great, exactly. But how I will get the network ID for each department?
First, you must assign the department 1 and
Yes.
and to
First of all, you have to arrange your requirement in descending order, right? And you can see my order is already arranged in descending, right? Like the maximum number is required in department 1, maximum number of IP addresses are required in department 1. So I put department 1 on top, means first of all I am going to perform FLSM, means fixed length subnet masking. Again we are going to do FLSM only, but we are going to perform FLSM multiple time now. For each department we are going to perform FLSM. For each department we are going to perform FLSM. So first we will perform FLSM for department 1, then for department 2, then for department 3, and then for department 4. Got it? Let's do it. So in department 1, required IP addresses are 100. You know the formula is 2 power h minus 2 should be greater than and equal to 100. Here we need to find the h value. What should be h? 2 power 7, means h should be 7, right? So if h is going to be 7, then n will be,
N would be 1.
oh number, total length of IP is 32.
Sir, 25.
25 is the network bits, right? Means subnet mask is going to be 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 128, right? Means my next network is going to be what? First network is 192.168.1.0/25. Second network 192.168.1.128/25. See, this network I am going to assign to department 1. right? And I'm going to perform again FLSM on this subnet, the second subnet, right? Here how many IP is required? 50. So again here I am going to use same formula, 2 power h minus 2 greater than or equal to 50. Now you tell me what should be the value of h. 6. That means n equals
equals
26.
to
Subnet mask 192. 192. That means block size 64. Means this is my first network, 192.168.128 slash 26, and second subnet is 192 slash 26. So this network is perfect for department 2. And now I am going to perform subnetting for this network, right? So here again 2 power h minus 2 greater than and equal to 30. So h should be 5, right? That means n equals 27. Means my block size is going to be 32, right? Means second network is going to be first network 192.168 192 slash 27, and second subnet here we need to add block size, right? So this subnet I am going to assign to department 3, right? And still here how many IP addresses are there? 30. I need only 10, so we can again perform subnetting for this subnet 192.168.1.224 slash 27 is my main subnet, right? Here 30 IP addresses are there, but I need only 10. So 10. H should be not 6, 4. N should be, N will be 32 minus 4, 28, right? Means submit mask 4 bit are on there, 4 bit, 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16, 240. Block size 16, right? Means this is my first network 192.168 1.224, and second network 1.240 slash 28. We can assign it to. Got it? Is it clear to all? Now let's do one thing. I have some question from, I have collected these questions from CCNA 200301 exam paper, from CCNA and CCNP exam paper. Okay, let me show you those questions and you will tell me the answer. Okay, I will only show you the question, you guys will be answering. So submitting Q&A, here it is. First question in front of you is, see, the exam code is 200301, which is the latest one, right? So these all questions are based on CCN 200301 exam paper. First question is, enter the last valid host on the network that the host this one is a part of. Okay, this is the IP address. See, they are not going to ask you the direct question. So what it's saying, this is an IP address. So first you need to find this IP address belongs to which network, and after that last IP address of that network, last valid IP address of that network. Tell me the answer.
63.
All are 63. लॉक कर दिया जाए. Should I lock 63? Let me lock it. 63, where it is? This one? Wrong. How 63? No, bro. I am just joking. Okay, let me check. Let me check. First of all, tell me what will be the network ID of this IP address?
4 sir. Network ID is 10.86.86.0.
Hmm?
86.0.
For slash 27, what will be the subnet mask?
Mask will be the
224.
192. 192.192.
No, bro. 24 means 27 means 3 bits. Means we have borrowed 3 bit. 128 plus 64 plus 32 means 224. Means my block size is going to be what? 256 minus 224. 62, right? So first network is going to be dot 0, second network is going to be dot 62, third network is going to be dot 128, and this IP address dot 62 is network ID, right? So last IP address of this network, next network is starting from here. None. Check this value, bro. This IP address belongs to which class?
Sir, block size is 32.
Okay, block size is 32. First subnet dot 0, second subnet 32. And there is, one another method, like you can check this this value is, which is the like nearest and divisible value to this number, right? Which is multiple of 30. Dot 0 dot 32 dot 64. So you can see 64 is
64 is last network.
yes, multiple of 64 is multiple of 32, and 64 is the nearest value of 62. Yes or no? That means network ID of this IP address is going to be what? Dot 64, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 32, sorry, 32.
64.
64 is the next. See this network and this network. So this IP address belongs to which network? This network, correct? Yes. So now tell me the last IP address of this network. Last IP of this network. 63, but it is asking for the valid. So answer is
62.
D. Okay, let me show you the second question. Is it clear to all? First question.
Yes. Yes.
See the second question. What is the maximum number of subnets? Means it is asking for the networks. How many networks after dividing? How many subnets are there? Maximum number of subnets and host per subnet for 192.168.50.247, and this is the subnet mask. So it is asking you, if we have this CID slash subnet mask or CIDR value, how many network ID, how many subnet you will get, and how many IP address you will get per subnet. So just you need to find how many bits I have borrowed. How many bits I have borrowed, guys, here?
3 bit. 3 bit.
3
Here you
bit.
can see.
That means subnet I will get 8, right? Means this option is incorrect. This option is incorrect, this option is incorrect, only this option is correct, right? And even now we can find the valid host also. Like if we have this subnet mask, then
5 means 32, 30,
total length of IP 32, right? And this is the, mean, how many bits you have borrowed? 3. So 2 to power 3 minus 2, it is going to be 30. It's easy, right? 2 raised to,
h minus 2.
sorry, oh my god, yes, 2 raised to h minus 2, right? In this formula you can put the host bit, right? Total length 32, and out of that you can see the subnet mask, right? 3 bit you have borrowed, 3 plus 24, 27, right? So 6, 2 power 6 minus 2. This question, what is the dotted decimal representation of slash 13? Slash 13 means how many bits are there in second octet? How many bits are there in second octet? Guys, subnetting is very important topic of networking. You know, one of my friend is preparing for CCI lab, and still they have dot in subnetting. Sometimes he is asking the question from the subnetting.
Sir, B option.
Oh, dotted decimal means it asking for the subnet mask of slash 13.
B option 255 or 248.
You only need to find how many bits I have borrowed. How many bits are there in second octet? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? Then you can check this one. How many usable IP addresses can be assigned to host on slash 26 subnet?
126. 126.
Means I have about 2. Block size you can find 256 minus.
C option, sir.
Yes, it is asking for the usable IP address. Are you sure with C? Okay. नहीं, 2 होगा, 2 माइनस होगा. Then this is a easy question, like it is asking for the value, this binary to decimal. Yeah, okay, thank you. Now your router has the following IP address on Ethernet 0, right? There is one router, and on the router interface IP is this one, 172.16.2.1 here. Which one of the following can be a valid host ID on the LAN interface attached to the router? Now here lots of PCs are there, right? So tell me one IP address of host. Again you need to find the network ID. See how many bits here I have borrowed? 7. 7 bits, right? My subnet mask is going to be 255.255.254.0, means block size is going to be 2, right? Means my first subnet is going to be 172.16.0.0, second subnet 16.2.0, third subnet 16.4.0. Now you tell me this IP address belongs to which subnet? This, right? This subnet, this IP address belongs to this subnet 2.1, first valid IP address of second subnet. Now check this IP address. This IP address belongs to which subnet? This one, right? This IP address belongs to this subnet, the first subnet. This IP address belongs to again first subnet. This IP address belongs to second subnet. This IP address also belongs to second subnet. Right? Is this one D option is correct?
No, no, sir.
Why no? Why no?
C and D both is correct. Because of D3 and
We are having only two networks, right? The block size is two.
Block size is 2, yes.
So three will not be correct, right? We have only
Oh, this IP address, see, this is the network, right? So first IP 2.1, like this 2.255, then 3.1, then 3.255, like this. No? So somewhere,
no, sir.
huh?
Valid, but no, sir. This actually block size is only two is there.
Right?
Yeah, it's enough, sir. That two dot two double five is that is enough. हमारा range तो सर two support करना है total IPs in the subnet is 512 IPs are there in
No, no.
subnet.
Brother, see, first subnet is 172.16.1.1, sorry, 0.0. 0.0. Second subnet 172.16.2.0. Third subnet 172.16.4.0. Right? So this network is ending over here 172.16.2. Not 2, 3.255. Right? And this IP address come under this network only, yes or no? So both are yes. Correct. Then what is the broadcast address of this?
Broadcast address is dot 63.
Broadcast address is dot 60. Hmm?
63, sir. Not 63. 53, sir.
See, broadcast address of the network. This is it a valid IP? Is it a valid IP or invalid? Like network ID, broadcast or valid IP? How many bits I have borrowed here?
3 bits, sir.
3 bits. What will be the block size?
Block size 32. 32.
32. First subnet will be dot 0, dot 32, dot 64, dot 96. These are the network ID. Right? So now this
95. 95 will be there. 95 will be there.
got it. Then this one. You guys can solve it, right? Just I will send this PDF, okay? And many more questions are there, but make sure you all will perform this, right? You all will solve these all questions. After that, you have one book, CCNA Todd Lebne official book. Somewhere I will have also that. Let me check if I can find that book. Yeah, I'm talking about this one. So here also you can find some good questions for the submitting practice, right? Submitting. Here is the easy submitting. Yeah. So you can read about the subnetting, like what is the benefit of dividing large network into a smaller network, then the default one LAN for each subnet. Okay, then this is the default notation. Subnet mask network node means host bit. Host node means host, the IP, like PCs. Yes, right, where we are going to configure the IP. Then this is the formula. Okay, CIDR, and here is the CIDR value of all slash value, right? And after that, from here there is one IP subnet 0 command also. So when I will start the configuration, I will tell you about it. Like you can, by default you cannot configure IP with slash 31, because in slash 31, see in slash 31, how many IP addresses are there? How many valid hosts? 2 to the power h minus 2. How many host bits are there? Only one. Total length of IP is 32, right? So 2 to the power 1 minus 2. Valid hosts are 0, right? There are two IP address. One is network ID, one is broadcast ID. So I don't have any valid IP address. But with the help of this concept, we can use, whenever you need one IP address, you can use this also, like slash 31 also, right? So while configuration, I will show you and tell you. Then subnetting from class C, right? So you can see for each slash value, here it have explained the process, right? So you can read it, go through it once, go through it once with all the examples, all the examples, right, from each class. Now it is from class C, and after that there are some questions. What do you know about a slash 25, 128 mask? These are the options. And then you will have some Q&A as well in the end. Or here you can see the first host, last host, broadcast ID, network ID. Subnet means network ID. Okay, so go through it, because just master the subnetting, right? You have to master the subnetting. After that you can see some practice. So write the subnet and broadcast address and valid host range. So you can follow this, you can try to solve these questions as well. And once you will practice, right, trust me, you will become master in subnetting. And because everywhere we are going to use subnetting, in routing, in designing, right, whenever we will be talking about the network configuration, we will be using subnetting. Every time between the routers, we will be using slash 30, because here we will get only two IP address, right? 2 to the power h minus 2 formula to find valid host. Host bit over here is 2, h equals 2. So 2 to the power 2 minus 2, 4 minus 2, 2. Two valid IP addresses are there with slash 30. And between router R1 and R2, I need only two IP address. Okay, then VLSM. Okay, so just go through it and see the departments. Here you need 30 host, here you need 20 host, here you need 6 host, here you need 14 host. So whenever the length of subnet is variable, we have to apply VLSM. Okay, so these are the concept. Here we have the summarization. So we'll see the summarization in the routing module. Here also you can learn, like, subnetting is what? Dividing large network into a smaller network, and summarization is what? Combining multiple small network into large network, where subnetting is required. For an example, here I have router 1, here I have router 2, right? Let's say I have 3 building, and at each building I have one router, right? And routers are connected with LAN network R1, R2 and R3. R3. For an example, here I have one LAN, here I have one LAN, and here I have one LAN. Here network is 10.1.1.0/24. Here network is 10.1.2.0/24. Tell me, both are same network or different network?
both are same network.
Both are different network. Both are different network, na bro? See, in the network portion, I am saying network bits are 24. So you need to check, is there any difference in first 24 bits? If yes, that means it belongs to different subnet. These all are different subnet but belongs to same class A, right? Like you can say it is a summary address of this network can be this one /16, right? You can see in this summary address all these three subnets comes under this summary address, right? Or summary address can be 10.0.0.0/16 where it is required. For an example, these all routers are connected with one another router here, R1, right? And like this, if this big router is receiving 1000 subnet like this, right? But the capability of this router is 500 prefixes. It can only install 500 prefixes in their routing table. Or if prefixes is confusing you, then say subnet. It can only install 500 subnets, right? And 499 prefixes subnets are already there. And now router 1 is advertising one subnet, router 2 is advertising one subnet, and router 3 is advertising one subnet, right? So this router need to install 3 more subnet, but it cannot install. So what we can do here, we can summarize these all 3 subnet, right? How to summarize? That is called manual summarization. If I will talk about the automatic summarization is going to be this one, 10.0.0.0, right? By using class, it will check only exactly this first octet value is 10, that means it belongs to class A. If it belongs to class A, it will summarize it into 10.0.0.0, right? This is automatic summarization. In manual summarization, we have to summarize only these 3 subnet, because in C, this auto summary, we have another subnet as well, like 10.1.4.0. This is also part of this summary address, right? This network is also part of this summary address. But you want to summarize these 3 prefixes in such a way so that only these 3 prefixes are part of that, right? Like if this router is connected with one more router here, and this router have different subnet, 10.1.4.0/24, right? So if we'll perform automatic summarization here on router number 1, then 10.0.0.0, right? Then it cannot forward traffic to their neighbor router, maybe to router 1, router 2, router 3. It will install only one prefix, either on this interface 0/0, or on 0/1, or on 0/2, like that. So automatic summarization will not work here in this scenario. Manually we have to perform summarize. So how to perform the manual summarization? Guys, to perform the manual summarization, you need to convert the value of IP address into bits. But which value? The value where, like the octet where the value is changing. So you tell me, in which octet value is changing here?
Third and
Third octet. In fourth octet value are 0. Third octet value is changing. So I will convert IP address of third octet into binary, right? So binary of 1 is going to be 1. Binary of 2 is going to be,
10,
and binary of 3 is going to be 1 1, right? And now you need to find where bit is changing, right? First you find where The octet is changing. Now you need to find where bit is changing. So bit C, 5, 6 bit are same in all the subnet, right? 6 bit are same. That means your slash value after summarization is going to be what? How many common bits are there in all the subnet? 8 in first octet, 8 in second octet, and 6 in third octet. So 8 plus 8 plus 6, 20,
Four. So
22. Correct? So slash value is going to be 22. And to find the network ID, you can perform AND operation here. After AND operation, all value is going to be what? 0. Right? So now just convert it into decimal 0 slash. Here in third octet value is going to be 0. Right? The decimal value 0. So my summary address is going to be what? 10 dot 1 dot. In first octet and second octet value is same. We have not changed anything. In third octet value will be 0. Right? The after AND operation whatever decimal value we will get 0. Then dot 0 and slash value is going to be what? 22. Right? This is the summary address of these three subnet only. Right? If I have another subnet here 10 dot 1 dot 4 dot 0, this subnet is not part of this summary address. This subnet is not part of, huh? Sorry? No, this is not part of this summary address. If you will convert it into binary, if you will convert it into binary, then what will be the binary here? 45100. Right? This one is the binary of this IP address. So now you tell me, if this is my network ID, this is my network ID. So from where this network is starting, how many subnets are there? How many subnets are there? 4 subnets are there, right? That means this is also part of this summary address, right? This is also part of this summary address. 4 subnets are there, 1 dot 1 dot 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and no.
4.0 next.
Okay, see, tell me, subnet mask 255, 255, 255. No. What will be the subnet mask here? Means 6 bits we have borrowed. 2 252.0. So block size is going to be what? 4. First subnet is going to be what? 10.1.0.0. Second subnet 10.1.4.0. 4.0. So this is different subnet, right? This is different subnet. Got it, everyone? Okay, so this is what manual summarization, right? In the routing we will be configuring it manual summarization sometime, right? The summarization is also important. Like first, in the department inside the company, what I did, I divided large network into a smaller part, right? For the better management, for the configuring security, for applying quality of service, for the better management, right? But when it will come to router, on the router I don't want to increase the routing table. I don't want to install lots of prefixes in routing table. So what we'll do on router? We'll perform the summarization. On router we can again summarize it. right? So this way we can reduce the size of routing table as well, right? If you will not perform summarization, then this router is going to advertise 3 subnet, 1, 2, 2 and 3, right? And this router is further connected with another router, so this router is also going to advertise 3 subnet, but you want that here we should have only one entry for these all 3 departments. So on any router, it is not compulsory that only this router you should perform summarization. On any router you can perform summarization, right? So here we can perform summarization to reduce the size of routing table. Instead of installing 3 route, it will install 1 route. Okay, and guys, this book is very good book, right? You should read it whenever we are covering topic. You should go through it once, right? Like here in the class I am not using technical word, just I am using the word which can be like easier to teach, to make you understand, right? Where you will find the technical word? In the book. So make sure you are reading book as well. Whenever you have time, try to read book also. Okay, so now we are done with the addressing. We are done with the addressing. This is network addressing, through which we identify the devices and where we will configure this address, that is NIC card, NIC card. We have two types of address: MAC address, IP address, right? Now the next thing that you need to learn is, I have, for an example, two computer or one computer, one server, right? The first step is both should have IP address, the basic requirement of communication. Both should have IP address, the basic requirement, IP address and MAC address, right, on their NICs. So you know now who is going to configure MAC address, who is going to configure IP address. For an example, MAC address A, MAC address B. IP address 10.1.1.1, IP address 10.1.1.2. Right? Now you need to understand what here? Protocol. Protocol means set of rule. Praful, if I have one book here, CCNA book, how this PC can download it? How this PC can download this CCNA book from server, right? Or HTTP service is enabled here. HTTP service is enabled here. So how this PC can access HTTP service? So also we'll learn it, like how this PC is going to access this service. What I will do, I will put this PC at different location and I will put this server at different location, right? And between source and destination I am going to put lots of networking devices, router, switches, firewall, right? And then we'll see how to configure these devices and how these devices are going to work. Okay, so this is the flow. Okay, so make sure, bro, first you are clear with the addressing and where we are going to configure the addressing. Now in next class I am going to teach you about the protocol, about the rule, right? What are the rule that machine is going to by default use to forward any message? Okay, and on this hardware, you know, on these hardware we need software as well, right? Like without software we cannot use hardware. So here we have operating system. It can be Windows, it can be Linux, right? Any operating system, Cisco operating system, on servers also. And on networking devices, whatever devices you are going to use, routers, switches, on those devices also we need operating system to control the hardware, right? Operating system, software is going to instruct the hardware how to operate. Okay, now That's all for today from my side. If anyone have question, please ask. Yes.